Students, can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. How many of them are there? Nobody's answering today. All right. Good morning. Once again, we are starting today the second chapter of strategic management. In the first chapter, we saw what was strategic management. We saw what is stakeholders. All right. Now, strategic intent. The word intent tells us with what determination and how carefully we will do some planning. With determination, with eager attention, with full attention. So, meaning of strategic intent. Now, here I have taken two main authors into consideration. So, according to Gary Hamel and C.K. Prahlad, strategic intent is the existence of an organization and the ends. Now, ends means the end product, the end result it wants to achieve. Okay, it defines the beliefs and values of an organization. Now, what is a belief of an organization? Yes, we can build up a very good organization and we can earn maximum profits. Who is talking there, please? Who is talking? It becomes, please don't talk. And values of an organization. Then, according to Luas and Ghoshal, strategic intent is long-term goals that reflects the future. Who is talking, please, in the background? It disturbs. Strategic intent is long-term goals that reflects the future positions of the firm as it is articulated, means whatever the it is said or it is formulated by the top management. Now, what are the attributes of strategic intent? Attributes of strategic intent means, according to Hamel and Prahlad, if the organization clearly communicates its strategic intent, then each activity is done accurately. Now, if I tell you, okay, we finished the first chapter, now you have to write, you have to start preparing for your examination. So, in your notebook, you take a pen and you start writing. So, it helps you to increase your speed during the examination. So, that is a sense of direction. So, we can say the sense of direction is always defined as where the organization will go, wants to go in future and why it wants to go to that level. So sense of direction will tell us that. Then every organization will need a steady and a common end. Okay, we are following this path, so what are going to we achieve in the end? Then whatever these ends are, they should be valuable and they should be necessary for the organization. Similarly, when you are doing a sense of direction, you should also focus on the environment and the market for the business. See, the market is very dynamic. It changes, it changes very frequently. Hence, whenever we do a strategic decision making or whenever we talk about where to go and how to go, these decisions should not be based on short-term motives. When we place these decisions on a long-term motives, it also considers the market and the environment, the external environment, which keeps on changing every now and then. Therefore, we can say the organization should have a long-term goal which is consistent. Remember the word consistent. Please write it in your notebook. The word consistent. So we need to have a proper set of directions which will help the organization to achieve the long-term intents. Always remember, again I repeat, intents should be long-term. They should not be short-term. Then the second point, what we have mentioned is the sense of discovery. What is the meaning of sense of discovery? Now, every now and then, there are new things coming up in the market, right? If you see the customer's end, they want something very new. So, sense of discovery means it tells us to be more creative and more innovative. This is necessary because You know, when we don't have this sense of discovery, when we don't talk about creativity and innovation, then the employees in the organization will feel lethargic, they will get bored, and they will not feel enthusiastic about their work because there is no newness. Hence, the intent will not motivate them, it will not be inspiring. Similarly, Similarly, the sense of discovery should be in such a way that the employee is always ready to face challenges. And challenges always appear, we always face challenges in the growth zone, right? In the fear zone rather. So when we talk about the fear zone, there are challenges to face, and when we face these challenges, we are exploring new things, and eventually the organization is growing, and when the organization is growing, the individual is also growing. So what happens is we talk about creativity and innovations, but we also have to give them a new dimension. So, creativity and innovation always has to be accompanied by skills, by the upgraded skill sets. Then, what is sense of destiny? Now, the sense of destiny will also tell us about the strongness or the ability of the intent. All right. Now, when it tells about the strongness or the ability of the intent means, in a nutshell, it tells us about the existence of the organization. So, what happens is strategic intent also tells us about the existence of the organization. And because of this, it creates a sense of belongingness, a sense of respect. That means every individual in the organization will respect each other, and in turn it will help us to make a stronger organizational culture. It will also be useful for directing the organization. Directing the organization means where the organization is heading, where we want to lead the organization. Thus, the strategic intent must be helpful for the employees in order to recognize their capacity and capability. Any any problems, any difficulties up till here? Any difficulties up till here, please? Yes? Any difficulties? Please answer. Any difficulties? Any difficulties? Nobody's answering today. Nobody's answering.
No,
There
ma'am.
are, there are 36 people on board. Nobody's answering. Okay. As long as you all understand. I've tried to make it more easier than the first chapter. Now see, this is the hierarchy of the strategic intent. Now this is a pyramid. The first and the foremost thing is we have the vision, then we have the mission, then we define our business, then we have the goals, and then we have the objectives. Now this is the integrative part of how a strategic intent should be. The most specific, if you see the objectives, and greatest is number is the objectives. Then I'm just continuing. Strategic intent should be shared with all the stakeholders. The last topic of the first chapter is stakeholders. It helps the stakeholders to believe in the company. The stakeholders should say, oh, my investments are going in the right company. I am going to get good returns. The means the stakeholders can be a part of the decision making process. The stakeholders' decision can affect the company and vice versa. The above hierarchy helps in building in a strong foundation for planning and redirecting. We'll just take an example. It's a real world example. Let's look to Asia specifically, Japan and Honda. Some time ago, Honda made the decision to enter the motorcycle market. But rather than look to imitate means copy Harley Davidson or Yamaha's success, Honda chose to start with products that were intentionally different. Which one we have? Activa. First we had the Kinetic Honda, then Kinetic and Honda, they broke up. Kinetic came with that Nova, and Honda came with Activa. Now you just see Activa, the market for Activa in India, everybody has an Activa. So this is the strategic intent. Then we have, I hope you can see this, how it is amalgamated. We have strategic intent, then strategic formulation, and then we have strategic implementation. Now see, they are getting aligned. All right. They should be hand in hand. They should be hand in glove. Now see how it will go. We have the most important thing is the vision at the center. Then the light green part defines the mission. Then a dark green part defines our business or business. Now the light blue part or the light sea green part, it defines, see my cursor is moving, it defines the business model. And the last to achieve is the goals and objectives. Followed? Followed? Then what is vision? All right. Now, a vision states what the organization aspires to become in the future. A mission reflects the organization's past and present by stating why the organization exists and what role it plays in the society. Goals are the most specific aims that organizations pursue. Pursue means they follow to reach their visions and missions. So we can say that a vision is nothing but it is a statement which defines the long-term goals of the company. It can exceed from one line to a few paragraphs. That some companies might have only one sentence to say, some companies might have a paragraph to say. Now see the examples of vision statements I have given you. For Amazon, it's saying to be the world's most customer centric company. All right. Walmart says to become the world leader of all retailing. Pfizer, which is a pharma company, it says to be the world's most valued company to patients. Now, why I put in one paragraph? Because I did not want it to take on the other slide. To be the world's most valued company to patients, customers, colleagues, investors, business partners, and the communities where we work and live. Then Microsoft. Microsoft says to help people and business worldwide realize their full potential. This is an example of qualitative vision. Focusing on the impact Microsoft aims to have on individuals and business. Now, we all are using Microsoft. Then Tata. Tata says to be the most reliable global network for customers and suppliers that delivers value through products and services. To be a responsible value creator for all our stakeholders. Now, I had given you all one question to write it in your notebook as a practice for weekend. It is only Ishika who has done it. What about the others? I told you to do it on the weekend. It's a practice question. Yes, it is only Ishika who has shown it. It is for your own good. Then the vision statement describes the long-term objective of your company, usually for a time frame of 5 to 10 years or even longer. I had put this in the previous chapter also. Then a mission statement is like a roadmap of how to achieve the goals set in your vision statement. It defines the purpose of the organization. Now let's check what these people have to say. Miller and Des. Miller and Des say vision is the category of intentions that are broad, all inclusive, and forward thinking. Now, see, there are many definitions. Whenever you write a definition, you cannot make any changes in the definition. So, in the textbook, there are 2, 3 definitions. So, you select the best definition according to your choice. And when you write define, you cannot change it. You can learn that. Then according to Kotler, vision is a description of something in the future. So I have taken these two definitions. You will still have more definitions in the textbook. Then features of vision. Now what are the features of vision? It is future oriented. Future oriented means what? If the vision is future oriented, it does not mean that it is not telling us something about the present condition of the organization. Okay, the future orientation will always tell us about where the organization will reach in a given period of time. Therefore, it can say that vision statements always tell us about the goals, the future goals of the company, and it will help us to frame the plans of the company. So it becomes a very important part of any organization because it will have some future picture of the company in mind. Then we have the second point is it helps in selecting target market. Now, what do you mean by target market? Now, if you see a company, even if you are running a company, your aim will be to serve or to fulfill the needs of your consumers and each and every type of the customer. So, what will happen? It will have to customize. It will have to make its services tailor made as per the requirement of the customer. So, in when we talk about the customer, then the company has to decide the market segments, and then according to the market segments, the company would go for is strategic decision making. So, what happens if you see the vision statement will always create a road. It always creates a path or a rasta, what you call in Hindi, for the organization. Then decides a long-term objective and focus. Long-term objective and focus means it decides the direction of the organization and the directions of the organization and the strategies what we are going to need to fulfill the set targets. Then requires careful thinking. Now, why does it require careful thinking? Formulating a vision statement. Okay, once you formulate a vision statement, it requires a punchline or a tagline, but also we have to keep the future prospects of the organization to achieve success. So, a vision is nothing but it helps us to understand the present state of the organization as well as where the organization needs to go in future. Now, this is called as a process of envisioning. Now, what is the process of envisioning? Means when you see so many things you have. Suppose if you go to the market to buy tomatoes, are you going to buy all the tomatoes? No. You will see, okay, how much money I've got in my pocket and what is my need. Accordingly, you will buy. Similarly, we will have lots of vision statements for the organization and which one suits the best. So in the first place, we have to understand we have to understand the organization. So we are understanding the organization. Then the second step is we are conducting an audit. I will explain you point wise. First, to just understand this, then narrow down the vision, set up the context of vision statement, create new feature scenarios, formulate alternative vision statements, and then we will select the final state. So let's go point wise. What is understanding the organization? We we formulate a vision statement. That means we make a vision statement in order to understand the organization in a better way. In a better way. Okay. So what happens? What will the management do here? First of all, type of the industry, whether it's a manufacturing industry, whether it's an auto ancillary industry, whether it's a pharma industry, then whether it's a food and a beverage industry, whether it's a service industry. Then the second would be the mission and purpose of the organization. It will be what type of values will it provide the society. Then what is the structure of the organization? When we talk about the structure of the organization, it will have the president, it will have the board of directors, president, vice president, board of directors, the CEOs, then we'll have the respective heads. Then critical success factors of the organization, on what parameters and on what basis is the organization going to succeed. Then we can have the nature and type of stakeholders. What type of stakeholders are we having? So what type of stakeholders are investing in the company? Then interest of the stakeholders. What is the interest of the stakeholders? Are they demanding more dividends? Are they demanding a profit share? Are they a part of decision making? The second point is conduct an audit. Now you all know what is an audit. Once we understand the organization, and we then once after we understand the organization, we tend to conduct an audit so that the internal and the current position of the organization can be understood, and at what space the organization is moving, or at what space the organization is progressing. So first of all, in the second point, we need to study the current directions of the organization. Then we have the organizational activities. We can also have the organizational structure. Then we have how many employees are working at a particular level of the organization. Then what is the compensation we are paying? What type of remuneration plans we are given? And what is the information system? What is the information system? And how is the flow of communication in the organization? All right. So when we conduct an audit, it is not only a financial audit, it can be an HR audit also. Then we have narrow down the vision. After conducting the audit, the next point is we need to narrow down the vision statement. I mean, now what do you mean by narrowing down the vision? It means that we form the necessary vision statement. Some of the important questions in the third point, narrowing down the vision, can be asked. What are the limitations? For how many days will this vision statement exist? Secondly, what are we going to achieve by this vision statement? Then when we are trying to focus on this vision statement, what can be the possible problems we can face? So all this is studied in the narrow down the vision. Then the next is set up the context for vision statement. Now, what set up the context for vision statement? Just putting the vision statement is not going to work. We need to support the vision statement by categorizing the future developments. What can be the future developments, right? And what can be the expectations of each category, or what can be the expectations of each department? Then what can be the probability? Now see, probability means, when I use the word probability, when we have to fulfill the vision statements, we take the internal environment and we take the external environment into consideration. Now the external environment is always dynamic because there are the government policies, there are some the change of the government is changing. So the external environment is always dynamic. So our vision statement should be in a such a way that it should not collapse if the external environment is changing. So keeping the changes in the external environment, we need to have the probability. What will be the probability? Is the probability 50%? Is the vision statement going to be 50%? And again, I repeat, this depends upon the external environment. Then assigning the probability of occurrence to each expectation. Okay, today, suppose I have to travel, I have to go for my SIP. All right. Now it is rainy season. So we have an assumption. Oh, should I go by an auto? Is it going to rain heavily? It can rain heavily. It cannot rain heavily. If it is raining heavily, then how I need to travel? Should I take an auto? Should I take a bus? Or should I go with my friend? If it is not raining heavily, then I take a bike. Again, if it is raining heavily, I should be prepared. I should carry an umbrella. I should carry my raincoat with me. So this can be the probability of occurrence depending upon the external environment. Then we are creating the new future scenarios. Now, as soon as we are setting up the context of vision statement, we have a future scenario. The future scenario means what? What are the probabilities? We understand the probabilities, we understand the expectations, we understand the effect, and now it is the step to associate all these expectations, and we need to form a new scenario which will help us to take into consideration all the possibilities which will be there in the future. So what we are doing, we are having a scenario which will consider all the possibilities in future. Is it clear? Are you following? Any difficulty up till here? Any difficulty in process of envisioning?
No.
It's only Ishika who's answering always. Where are the others? Where are the others? Are they there?
No, ma'am.
No, you're not there.
Yes, ma'am, I'm there.
What's your name? Please tell me the name.
Vaibhav, ma'am.
Okay, Vaibhav. Were you there for the previous lectures?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. And did you write the first question, Vaibhav, in your notebook?
Not right, ma'am.
Why? That was a weekend activity. Those who have not written, please write. It is your examination preparation. Don't wait for the last moment to prepare for the exams. Then, significance of vision. It acts as a measure of excellence, the first point. Okay, it acts as a measure of excellence. Uh, okay, it acts as a measure of excellence. A strategic vision will act as a measure of excellence. Means what? It is going to motivate, it is going to inspire the employees to achieve all levels of excellence and skills in their work. It also works as an ongoing goal. That means whenever we talk about a vision, it should be ongoing. It should be going. It should not stop. It is not like, oh, today you decide the vision statement. Now next year it is just in the files and we are not working. It should not be that case. Ongoing goals and encourages the employees to improve the quality of work. Secondly, it will also help us to measure the value of our organization. Now, the second point is overcomes the gap. Now, what do you mean by overcomes the gap? As I said, the vision statement always tells us about the future activities where the company is going to head. Then, a good vision will try to fill up the gap from the present to the future. It will also tell us about the present context, about the present condition of the company, and it will also tell us about the future of the company. So it will overcome the gap. The vision statement will overcome the gap between present and future. It will also help the organization to study what difficulties an organization can face in the future, and it will also set up a plan as to how to overcome these difficulties. What can be the probable solutions or the probable possibilities to overcome? The vision statement also helps the decision maker. See, decision making is a very important activity of the organization, because a decision making process will solve all the problems, or it can also create problems. So decision making plays a very important activity. So decision making, the vision statement will help the decision makers to plan and guide the organization to the future state as whatever decided by the top management. Then it will create a sense of responsibility. Very important. A sense of responsibility in the employees means what? Okay, this is my job. I have to do it. I'm accountable for this job. So what happens is, um, with this statement, every employee in the organization will always look forward to increase her own skill sets. You remember the first day I had asked you about what are your skills, what are your strengths, right? So skills come here into picture and create interest in working towards the organizational goal. Now, create an interest means what, right? In an organization, whenever you are part of the organization, who is this? Who is this? Are you traveling? Who is this? Who is this? Creates a sense of responsibility. Please don't make such noises. I get disturbed here. Creates a sense of responsibility. As I said, that a, a sense of responsibility means the employee becomes an accountable for his or own work. So he or she has to upgrade his skill sets and create more interest in taking the assignments. Here, when I means assignments, means the work which is assigned to you. It creates. Mohit sir, who is making so much of noise? Can you please tell me? So it also helps to it also helps the employees to understand their personal gains, and they become motivated to perform with enthusiasm in the company. Then we have, it provides a reason for existence. A statement will always give a reason. It will always tell an employee as to why are you in the company, what is your existence in the company, and why your existence is essential for the company. So it will always help in getting or integrating all the resources and act for the self realization aspect of the employee in for the future scenario. Self realization, oh, I am there in the company, I am a part of the company. I am accountable for the work. I belong to the company. The company is mine. I play a very important role in fulfilling the vision statements of my company. I am going to become the part of the decision making process of the company. Then helps in setting goals for the future. Again, goals for the future, it will tell us where the organization is in the present situation, and where the organization is going to be in the future, and it helps the employees to set up a common goal. See, individual goals do not have any place in the organization. Always remember, The organizational goals are always on the top of the pyramid. Then helps in solving the internal and external issues. A good vision, will help the organization to deal with both internal and external issues. Now, when we talk about internal issues, what is that? It should help all the employees, it should guide all the employees to go in one direction. And there we will talk about the principle of direction, the unity of direction. Everybody should move in one direction. And when everybody moves in one direction, we know the roadmap and we achieve the goals of the organization. And this is the way the organizations will capture the market segments, what they have set for themselves, and it will do its own branding. So branding of the company becomes with the help of the market, and the market will be created when all the employees move in the same direction, looking at the organizational goals. So your organizational goals are always on the top of the pyramid. Everybody is followed to here. Any problem, any difficulty? Are you understanding the language? I've tried to make as simple as possible. Yes? Yes? Any issues up till here? Do you have any problems here?
No,
Have
ma'am.
you only Ishika answers? Where are the others here? Ishika, are you understanding this language? I've tried to make it more simple.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes. Sure, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes.
I made it more
Yes.
simple.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Hmm. Then merits of vision. What are the merits? Mm, okay. Merits, you can say even advantages. It overcome roadblocks and hurdles, right? Because we know where we are going. Challenges are inevitable, yes. It makes the environment more challengeable. Then substantiate your goals. That means you know what is your goals. And how do you learn this? When you have a vision, the purpose of the vision, and when you know your goal setting activities. Then sets expectations. Expectation means, okay, I have set an expectation for myself today that I have to complete my lecture, then I have to go to college, then I have to do all the activities which are assigned to me, and at the end of the day, when I write in my diary what I have learned today. These are my expectations. Then I will add more focus. Okay, I had made a mistake earlier. Now I should not have rectified my mistake. Now I should not make this mistake again. All right. Delivers meaning and purpose. Delivers meaning and purpose. Just being activity oriented never gets anything, right? You have to be result oriented. Okay, I was assigned 3 tasks, and this I have done, and this is the outcome. Determines the position. Determines the position as to where you stand in the organization, and then that will outline your success. Then demerits of vision or the limitations. Confused organizational structure. You don't know where you are going, to whom are you reporting. Without a why, managers have no direction. Employees are disengaged, means enough activities are not given to the employees. Budgeting happens on the fly, like where the money is going. It is, if the is the money of the organization going into unproductive work, then it's overextension. Like, do we need to, have 10-15 branches, and then we don't have the manpower to take that? Then wasted profits and lack of appeal to the investors or the stakeholders. The stakeholders are the one who are going to invest in the company, and the investors do not find the organization appealing enough to invest in that organization. Then we have the mission. Now, what is the mission? Okay, mission. The mission describes the company's product market, and technological areas of emphasis in a way that reflects the values and priorities of the strategic decision making process or the strategic decision makers. The mission of a firm defines its reason for existence. Why am I existing? So, a mission is a reason why an organization exists, dealing with what it does and why it does. So, it is reasoning out, it is asking questions. It talks about the present, such as where we are, how we compete, and what makes us different, leading to the future. Now, see certain examples I have given you. American Express, it says, become essential to our customers by providing differentiated products and services to help them achieve their aspirations. Then Tata Industries says to be more reliable global network for customers and suppliers that delivers value through products and services. The Adani Group says to be a world-class leader in businesses that enrich lives and contribute to nations in building infrastructure through sustainable value creation. Value creation is the need of time. Always remember that. How you add value to the organization. Then characteristics of good mission statements. Okay. Can anyone tell me what is the mission statement of Infosys? Any idea? Infosys says that we have to achieve our objectives in an environment, I have written it here, in an environment of fairness, honesty, and courtesy towards our clients, employees, vendors, and society at large. Now, your second assignment would be at least write 10 mission statements of the companies. Please don't write about those companies which I have mentioned here. Okay, I don't want American Express, I don't want Tata Industries, I don't want Adani Group. Is it clear? 10 mission statements. Then characteristics of a good mission. Feasibility. What is feasibility? It should always have a proper goal, and it should also be not an impossible statement to achieve, right? It depends upon the feasibility of a good mission statement will also depend upon the availability of the resources what we have. For example, we will talk about NASA here. It was a mission of US National Aeronautics Space Administration, that is NASA, to land on the moon during the 1960s, and which was finally accomplished between 1960s and 1970s. So this is a feasibility. Can we do it? Then precise. Precise. Precise means it should be able to tell the customers about their organizational goals and objectives. That means the customer should understand the organizational goals and objectives of the company. For example, if we have, if I take a product and I write, okay, we are satisfying the needs of the customer. Okay, this sounds good. So customer understands, okay, this product is meant for us. Then we have clarity, like it should be very much clear for the person to understand the organizational goals. So once the person understands the organizational goals, they can plan they can also go ahead for the action plan. It is, a good mission statement becomes successful or beneficial only when it is clear. For example, the mission statement of India Today. India Today is a magazine. It is the complete news magazine. So they're emphasizing that this magazine is only telling us about national and international news. Then we have encouraging. A good mission statement should encourage the employees and the customers and the stakeholders. So the customers, the stakeholders, and the employees should feel that they are the most valued asset of an organization. Once this motivation is there, then the employees go ahead and try to increase their skill sets and expertise. And it also creates a sense of loyalty among the stakeholders. So that is called as encouraging. Then we have something called as uniqueness. A mission, a mission should be unique, all right, unique from the competitors, because we have got lots of competitors in the market, and every competitor will have their own mission statement. It has to be unique. Now suppose if all the companies are in the same business, right, in the same business, the mission statement would be more or less the same. So what would be your creativity? You're also in the same business, but what type of uniqueness would you put in your mission statements? Then strategy. A good mission statement will always tell us about the strategy which we are adopting for the goal long term goal. For example, if we can have um, mm, what I can give you, suppose an FMCG good you have, then your uh, mission statement should be something, it is, people centric. Then we deliver customer related or innovative products to our customers. Our products are quite good, and it is for all the sectors of the society. Should specify the ways to achieve objectives, and mission statement should define the ways in which the organizational objectives are achieved. So this will help the organization to determine the time period which which will help the organization to achieve the goals. Is it clear up till here? Yes?
Yes.
Are you clear?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
I'll just take the last slide for the day. I will just begin with mission, and then I will stop and I will just summarize what we have done in 2 minutes. Now, the components of mission statement: values, a list of core values that guide the organization's behavior and decision. And so values can be a part of the mission statement. As I said, a mission statement is a brief description of why a company or organization exists. In 1 to 3 sentences, it explains what the company does, who it serves, and what differentiates it from the competitors. All right. So I'm going to talk about mission tomorrow. So let me give a good summary as to what I have done in a nice way. Then we have started second chapter. Then meaning of strategic intent. According those people who have joined late, 3 people have already vanished. Then attributes of strategic intent: sense of direction, discovery, destiny. Then we have the hierarchy of strategic intent: vision, mission, business definition, goals, objectives. Then we have the example of a Honda. Then we just saw how strategic intent, formulation, and implementation go hand in hand, how they are aligned. Then we again spoke about vision, mission, that vision is at the center. Then comes mission, then business definition, then business model, goals and objectives. Then we talk about strategic mission statements. I gave you examples of Amazon, Pfizer, Walmart, Microsoft, Tata. Then we again defined vision and mission. This will come always. Then we have defined according to Millardes and according to Kotler. Then features of vision. Then the process of unvisioning, understanding the organization, conduct an audit, narrow down the vision, set up the context, create new future scenarios, formulate alternative, and select the final vision statement. Then significance of vision. Then we have seen the merits of the vision, demerits of the vision. Then I just defined what is mission. I gave you examples of the mission statements of American Express, Tata Industry, Adani Group. And then we saw the characteristics of good mission statements and what are the components of mission statements. All right. Tomorrow we will start on with the mission statements in detail. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Do you have any difficulties? Do you have any difficulties? Any difficulties up till here?
No, ma'am.
Sonali, Ishika, Rupali,
No, ma'am.
Soham, Vaishnavi. If you have any difficulties, you're most welcome to ask me again and again. All right? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So thank you for being for the session today. Have a nice day. God bless you. Go safe for your SIPs.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye. Yeah, bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.